everybody, it's Thea and welcome back to Garden Goddess Tarot. Thanks so much for being here. It's been a day or two, my bad. I've been away. I made it to Greece and back. How fantastic. It was an amazing trip. Those of you that knew I was going, you knew kind of how much that place means to me, and it was high time I got back there again to experience it, and it was an adventure to say the least. I will probably do an entire video down the line talking in depth more about my experience there. A lot happened, a lot went down, I learned a lot. It wasn't all sunshine and roses. Bits were hard, bits were stressful, bits were overwhelming, but also bits were amazing and incredible at the same time. So I'll probably, once I'm a little bit further away from the situation and what happened, and I've had some more time to kind of process it, I'll go over and show you just what my experience was like and kind of what I would have taken away from it this time around. So I'm very, let me just say this much, I am very, very glad to be back home again. Today's video is actually, I don't want it to be too long. I want it to be a nice concise update. Specifically about the Hellenic Oracle deck. So, as many of you know, I've created an Oracle deck. I used the bejesus out of it. It was one of the 5 decks that ended up coming with me on my trip across the world. And hindsight, I probably could have only brought 3. 2 probably didn't need to come, which is odd because I belabored it. So I thought, like, I anguished over this decision of which ones to take for so long, and ultimately, really, you know, 3 would have been fine. I guess I'll tell you why not, if you're curious or not. I did bring the RWS, the Ashura Tarot, the Morgan Greer, my Hellenic Oracle, and then I caved and I had to bring the Ritual Tarot by Sierra May, this one. And honestly, I use this one the most. I probably could have only brought this one in the Hellenic Oracle deck and I would have been happy as pie. This deck is just incredible. I used it just about every single day to keep a bit of normalcy in my life. I pulled 3 cards from this every morning. I got a reading. It felt of the place. It felt appropriate while also tying me to back home again. And it's just an incredible work of tarot history. And I love it so much. This is the 2nd edition, I think, but it's the untitled, titleless one. Which I ultimately prefer. There is a new version coming out, if it's not out already, with titles on it, and if you're the kind of person who really likes titles, then go for it. But honestly, I think this deck was designed and intended to be without them, and it just it matches the ethos of the deck itself a lot more, with just, you know, you can dive into the images a lot more without tripping over a title on the way in, I think is the best way to describe it. So I absolutely love it. Mercury, or the Magician, came up so many times it was almost kind of spooky. But yeah, no, I used the absolute pants off of this amazing deck and would not be without it. I'm so glad that I caved and brought it. I was worried. I wanted to be precious with it and thought, oh no, I don't want it to get hurt. But I'm glad I got over that and brought it anyway. And just as, like, the universe would have happen, before I even got to the island, I was on the boat and it rained, it poured, it splashed, it got wet. This deck was kissed by Poseidon before I even got to the island I was going to, so there you have it. I learned my lesson in that case. But anyway, it dried out just fine. It looked pretty rough after I'd done it. All my edging had worn off, so I re-edged it when I got home. And there's a few cards that have some pretty serious chunks taken out of them just from traveling around. I've got a piece of sodalite in the bag with it, which ended up leaving dents in the back of a lot of the cards, so it's had a rough go of it. It's had a rough time, but this is one of my absolute favorite tarot decks, and so glad I brought it. So anyway, if you haven't heard of this one, look into it, watch some walkthroughs. It's a bit pricey, but honestly, I don't say this too often about tarot decks, but that one is entirely worth the price, and it is a super unique, and to me, it means a lot to me. This tarot deck means a lot to me, and it's one of my faves. So Ritual Tarot, amazing. So glad it was with me. Would definitely make that decision again. I also brought with me the Hellenic Oracle, and this is another one that was a no-brainer to bring, obviously. So this is the my original deck, the first one that I got, my prototype deck. I've just been using the pants off of it. It's you know, seen better days. It's gotten wet and dried fine. The edges are a bit chipped just from like thorough use, but this is my Greek Pantheon deity deck. It has 90 cards. It is a dream to work with, and I used it sparingly while I was in Greece, only at very important and special times, and it came through every time. And something amazing happened when I was on the plane. I was flying over Mount Olympus on this tiny little airplane, like kind of puddle jumping between islands to get there, and as I was flying over Mount Olympus, I thought, oh, I should pull a card from my Hellenic Oracle deck, and Thea popped out! Goddess of Shimmering Light. So anyway, I almost cried there on the plane while holding this card in my hands. It was amazing, it was intense. It had been a long journey too. This was like a 33-hour trip to get there, and I was so close, and I was almost there. And I finally pulled a card, and I just about burst into tears in the middle of the sky, so... Anyway, that was pretty funny, but yes, so never far from my side, but kind of kept close to my heart, and yeah, this was a treasure. So glad I brought that. And while I was away, something marvelous happened, and the new edition of the Hellenic Oracle had been approved for sale on Make Playing Cards, and then it was also delivered to me to my house back home. So when I got home, there was a brand new surprise waiting for me. So yeah, other one's in here. This is the new one. Edges nice, clean and smooth. Still has that new deck smell. And the new edition is 100 cards. So the first one was 90, which was beefy enough as it is, but this one is 100 cards. So it has the majority of the original 90 cards. A few were changed for reasons. I'll go over those right quick, as well as an additional 10 cards. So I think there's about 20. I guess they're right here. It makes it a pretty thick deck, but it's still perfectly manageable. I can shuffle it absolutely no problem. But yeah, these are the new 20 cards that are in this edition of the deck, and the rest are still the same. So, you know, we have our favorites like Ares here, Narcissus, Hephaestus, there's Gaia, Hamadryad, Selene, Psyche, Prometheus, you know, the whole family's here. So they're all still there. And then the new ones, which we'll show in great detail, are here. So I gave, the main reason the deck did get taken down was a few of the pictures apparently were blurry, and a version of the deck that arrived at the customers, they said the backs were not this color, but anywho, I didn't change the backs. The backs are the exact same as the other ones, so if you know, end up having to mix them together, then it'll all be fine. I will always use the same backs. No, no worries there. But yeah, a few of the images were a bit on the not super focused side. Keep in mind they're paintings, not HD photographs as well, so that's a whole other thing. Anyway, so Astraeus, who's stars in the night sky, he got a new painting. And I'll try and make it focus on them so you can see. There he is. So there's a beautiful painting of the night sky. Another one I had to modify, it was the Morai. You can see them a little bit better here. I kind of like this one as well. So they're there. Nymphae. I just never really liked the original one as much as I could have, so I improved on it. There's our little water nymphs. This is Clymene. Beautiful. She is a representation of fame and fortune, so that's fun. As opposed to like Tyche, who's like Wheel of Fortune type fortune energy. Clymene is more of a I don't want to say vanity, but just like that kind of shallow fame, you know, like fame like fortune in the fame sort of way. We have a new Atlas as well. It's got a bit of age on him, but still in peak physical condition. We have Echo. She's one of our new ones. Echo is, oh, her story is, it hurts a little bit when you read it, but I think that's a great depiction of her, and every time I hear an Echo I do think of her, so I like that she's in here now. Nephilae, I wanted to have some clouds. This is the, so again, all our primordial gods are landscape paintings or scenic depictions of their energy, so Nephilae being clouds, we have a lovely, gorgeous, sea-strewn cloudy sky, which I think is perfect for them. Chloris got an update with Zephyrus trying to abscond with her as well. She is the Roman equivalent of Chloris is Flora, so she is the flowers and the plant matter in that regard there. This is a new one. I love this one. I'm so glad I decided to put them in. They're sisters. They're Astrape and Bronte. They are thunder and lightning respectively. So like another nice, you know, gentle towery card. A little stormy. Maybe not quite as dramatic and devastating as Typhus, but still definitely strong storm energy, which is a great card to have in there, I feel personally. This is another one of my faves. This is Eupetus. And he is the father of Prometheus and Epimetheus. He was one of the Titan gods who held up the corners of the sky. And yeah, he is representation of mortality, hence the skull. So he's a primordial god, one of the older ones. Well, maybe the cusp between primordial and Titan. He's quite old, but again, he is the reason for, the excuse about, for mortality, the fact that, you know, that things do end and everything just doesn't go on forever, you know, which is beautiful but also tragic. Anyway, I like that one. Great picture. I gave Anake a new card as well. As much as I do love the cosmic egg, I do kind of like having that cosmic egg energy represented by a woman. This is a depiction of Lilith, which is with the snake, but I think in this case, Anake is the snake, not the woman, and Anake being the necessity for the cosmic egg to hatch, she is the necessity for creation, and creation as described in this case by a woman, such as, you know, Lilith or Eve or any of the, you know, divine feminine representations is beautiful, and I like it, and I think it's great. We've got some Maenads. Had to have these. This is one of the ones I was kicking myself for not putting in the first one. But again, they're not divinity, which is tricky. So technically they shouldn't actually be in here. They are followers of Dionysus, but the energy is just fun and what's a good thing to say about the Maenads? I like the devotional energy, but with also a sense of play and whimsy and fun and just like reckless abandon that these kind of carry with them, and it's an energy that isn't in the deck already per se, because we've got like satyrs are in there, Pan's in there, Dionysus in there. It's all male energy, right? So Maenads were traditionally female, which is nice. So I like having that balance in there of that, like, yes, us feminine folk can go about and let loose and have a good time as well. So I like that they were in there. So that's a gorgeous image there. We also have Chiron, who's a centaur, our wounded healer, our teacher, our being with, you know, half animal, half human connotations to it. So you can pull in from what you know with astrology with him. You can also use him from his mythological context alone, and I think it's great. So happy to have him in there. He's new and wonderful. We also have a location card to add to our Elysian Fields and Asphodel Meadows and Tartarus. I don't know why this one isn't in the original edition anyway. It's Mount Olympus, Olympusaurus. So that is stunningly beautiful and incredible and a treat. Love that one. And if you're using it in like a divinatory reading, it's very much representation of the high place, of the way, the location in which deity resides, the, you know, ultimate goal, the unreachable, the, you know, you can let your brain go in all sorts of directions with it, like paradise in a you know, deity like context. It's fun, it's beautiful, and it was amazing when I flew over it. And it looks just like that. And I got the horror. I got a new card. These are the hours or the seasons. Like hours is in the seasons. So we've actually got 4 little ladies dancing in the bottom corner, and then a lovely scenic picture there. That's a good one. And a couple of real treasures here. Oh, they're just, I made so many new cards. All right, a few more to go. We have Tethys, primordial female god, goddess of the sea, of the raw power of the sea, the depths, the, you know, the cycles, the tidal movements and flows. Tethys is is old and ancient and powerful and incredible, and I love her, and she's in there. Dionysus got a new card. In the beginning, I had like 8 or 10 different options for Dionysus and I couldn't pick, so I figured why not give him an extra one. You can swap it out if you want, or otherwise not. But there he is in his little leopard sarong, and I think it's a Thyrsus there. Oh no, it's just a staff. Or it might be. The pinecone might be at the bottom, but yeah. Couldn't say no to an extra Dionysus, right? And Eros got a new card. So this one is, because Eros in the original deck I depicted as young, this is older Eros, the kind of more mature Eros that would have been involved in the Psyche myth, as opposed to like the, you know, young cherub-like Eros that was full of trickery and japery and, you know, up to no good. Actually, I think I left both of them in, actually, to be quite honest. So the revised edition of the deck has both Eroses in it. I'm quite confident that I left both of them in there. So you have 2 Eroses, much like there's the 2 Taikis. You can choose to leave both in, or you can take one out and leave in the one you so choose. So that's Eros. We have Thesis. This one's great. Oh man, I like this one. This one is another one of those big energies. The like old, all-encompassing, like purposeful cards that, you know, helps give one's life meaning and direction. So she's in there. We love her. This is another one I really like, and I'm glad I included. This is Epimetheus. This is Prometheus's lesser known idiot brother. I don't mean idiot, I mean like just Epimetheus. His name means afterthought. So Prometheus is forethought, which is where his myth kind of comes from, and that led him to do the things like make the humans and give them fire. Epimetheus also helped make the humans, but he wasn't always the most helpful brother ever, so I like to have him in here as a nice balance to Prometheus, as well as a reminder that hindsight is always 20/20. There's Epimetheus there, and then next to him is his brother Prometheus, probably helping him from causing all sorts of trouble, so we like that they're in there. So yeah, Astraeus, Moira, Nympha, yeah, we've been through these ones, and that's it. That is the stack of new cards in the Hellenic Oracle deck that is now available on Make Playing Cards as a revised edition. So all the links have been updated on my website and all the other videos, and then I will leave a fresh new link in the down bar of this one if you wanted to check it out. If you're sitting there absolutely panicking saying, but I already have a copy of the Hellenic Oracle deck, I would like the new cards please. Never fear, I'm in the process of creating an expansion pack. I say expansion pack, it's gonna be a whole new deck. I just know it. So you'll have those 20 additional cards plus between 20 and 30 new ones to add, to beef up, to, you know, go through. And then that might be it for me in that. I don't want this to become a big like trading card sort of situation. I want it to be a functional deck. I want it to be a usable deck. And right now at 100 cards, it's getting pretty big. And then if I add another, you know, 30 to it, that's gonna be unusable. You'll have to start making decisions and choosing who not to include, and then that's not necessarily fun to do when you're working with deities anyway. It's hard enough picking one to work with, let alone, you know, sifting through them all in an oracle and divination type sense. So that, I think, will, once I finish this expansion pack, which will have some heroes in it, I do believe, as well as these gods, and then an additional bunch that I forgot, but I would like to include. But it'll be about a 50 card deck, and then you can purchase it separately, and it'll be all new ones if you have the original one as well. So, and then if you'd like this, then you are also welcome to purchase the expansion pack later on, because it will have an additional bunch of new cards in it too. So it's fair for everybody. I like how well-rounded that one is. So that is the update on the Hellenic Oracle deck. If you were curious, if you wanted to see the new cards, get a feel for it. It is based on neoclassical art. It has just been retrofit to represent the deities that I felt compelled to include. There are so many. There are hundreds of Greek deities. I come across them all the time and go, oh, how come that's not in the deck? But you gotta narrow it down sometime, and it has to be usable. So I like where it is, and I don't want to get too carried away. So Honestly, the original version is still my favorite. Yes, there were some flaws in it that I have since like corrected in this edition, but it's still what I originally wanted to create. It was the idea in me that needed to be manifest in some way, and that's what happened. So yes, the original is still my favorite, but the new one, you know, I'll have to work with it a bit more. I have like so bonded with my original copy, so. But anyway, yeah, that's that. That is the update on the Hellenic Oracle deck. Thank you so much for hanging out and checking it out. I will update you guys all soon on what's been going on with me tarot-wise since I've been back. I've been up to all sorts of fun. I've done some redecorating and just been soaking up the fall weather, and oh my gosh, I've got some excellent footage of the nature outside, so I'll do a little coming soon garden update, tarot update, you know, the tarot roundup video. So I just wanted to get this one about the Hellenic Oracle deck buttoned up just so I keep you in the loop, because you know. But anywho, as I said, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will see all of you fine people in my next video.